and it looked like new information has been revealed about Caitlin Clark's future contract with the Indiana.
Women's basketball rules have previously been modified by Caitlin Clark. However, what if I told you that her rookie contract may have a game-changing element? The Indiana Fever's recent disclosure of startling new information regarding her future is set to cause a seismic upheaval in the WNBA. Could Clark push the league to fundamentally change its rules and smash pay records? There is more than one player in this tale. It concerns the future of the WNBA. By the end of this film, you'll understand why Clark's deal is making waves in the sports industry.
Everybody, Caitlin Clark's new contract is already in the works, bruh. The Indiana Fever is not wasting no time with making sure they dot their I's and cross all the T's when it comes to keeping Caitlin Clark on this Indiana Fever.
The Indiana Fever are under pressure to secure Caitlin Clark's future with the franchise because of her undeniable impact on the WNBA. The league is facing a scenario it has never faced before, and her rookie salary of $76.5535 is clearly a minuscule fraction of her value. A single athlete who generates more revenue, publicity, and buzz than whole teams put together. They are allegedly working behind the scenes on a historic agreement, according to recent leaks from the Fever's camp. However, the worst thing is that they are having issues as a result of outdated league rules.
She's still on a rookie contract for the next couple of years. But one thing I can tell you that I know definitively is that the organization is working on a massive contract for Caitlin Clark's future.
The numbers are truthful. This season, Clark is in command of 26% of all WNBA operations. With her name linked to 1 out of every 6 WNBA ticket purchases, a rookie straight out of college accounts for almost 25% of the league's earnings on her ERS. She is not only a player. The Fever are aware that they cannot afford to lose her since she is a sensation.
We know Caitlin Clark is ultimately going to be the person to yay or nay whatever solution they come up with. So they got to do everything in their best interest to get ahead of this thing way before it ever comes up. So word on the street is that the Indiana Fever is putting together proposals and putting together different things under the WNBA rules that they can for Caitlin Clark.
The Fever drew almost 300,000 spectators to their games this season alone, with Clark leading the rankings and her jersey selling out quicker than the league can replenish it. Additionally, the number of spectators grew by an incredible 300%, with 45% of them turning in just for the Fever games. These numbers go beyond simple statistics. They show that Clark is more than simply a basketball player. The sport is being revolutionized by her.
This is about getting Caitlin Clark new contract done. They get her contract done, seal and deliver the future of this organization.
But this is the problem with the NBA's collective bargaining agreement. Regardless of Clark's worth, the current CBA bars rookie salary and limits what teams can pay. The system used by the franchise was established long before a player of her caliber showed around. The most amount Clark might make is about $241,000. Compared to what she's pulling in, that is nothing. Everyone is desperately searching for answers because the rules haven't changed despite the league and Clark knowing about the Fever. The material that has been released indicates that the Fever are making every effort to keep Clark in Indianapolis. They are considering creative incentives, performance bonuses, endorsement agreements, tie-ins, and more. However, even these efforts appear to be band-aid fixes for a far more serious issue. Clark's remarkable accomplishment is bringing attention to the league's pay system's significant flaws and how outdated it is. Not to mention how much money she has brought to Indianapolis. According to studies, her appearance alone has generated an estimated $36 million, which is the same amount of money as holding significant events like the NC Final Four. In addition to saving the city, Clark's salary is lower than that of many individuals in entry-level corporate jobs. This disparity is inevitable and is starting a long overdue conversation. When compared to the NBA, Clark's 4-year rookie contract of $338,000 is absurd. Consider Victor Wanyama, the 2024 NBA Draft's top overall pick, who is earning $13 million in his first year alone, nearly 40 times Clark's entire rookie deal. The discrepancy is startling and raises a crucial point. The Fever have a little window of opportunity to negotiate modifications that would enable them to award Clark a deal commensurate with her contributions before the CBA expires in 2025. However, transformation is a process, and the longer this goes on, the more likely it is that Clark will seek out other options. Given the lack of financial incentives, how can the WNBA hope to draw and keep elite players? According to reports, the Fever are preparing for a clash since they know they will have to do all in their power to retain Clark. However, the league's regulations are preventing them from doing so. The most noteworthy feature of playing in a rival league overseas or even quitting the WNBA entirely is the knock-on impact. Clark has shown that there is a market for women's basketball and that, given the chance, supporters would pay to attend games. But the league faces the danger of squandering the momentum she has created if it cannot adapt to this new reality. Let's also acknowledge that this issue affects sports outside of the WNBA. A matter of society. This query strikes to the heart of our perceptions about women's sports and the athletes who dedicate their lives to them. Why does a player who has contributed significantly to her league's earnings yet earn less than the average American household? Clark's story is a microcosm of a larger issue that requires immediate attention. The WNBA and the Indiana Fever are in a vulnerable situation. They must permanently lock Clark in, but they are constrained by a system that was not designed with players like her in mind. Leaked information claims that despite their best efforts, they are having a difficult time coming up with a solution. Clark's future with the Fever and the league at large is in jeopardy, and the upcoming years will be significant for both her career and the direction of the WNBA. Will the league take charge and adjust to this new chapter in women's basketball history? Or will it adhere to archaic customs and run the danger of losing one of the greatest players it has ever seen? For the WNBA and the Indiana Fever, the stakes are bigger than ever. Let's look at the reasons behind the urgency of this problem. Caitlin Clark is more than simply a player who comes along once in a lifetime. She is a shining example of what women's basketball could become, a walking brand and a marketing force. But the question remains, considering the league's present limitations. Will the WNBA be able to make the necessary changes quickly enough to protect her future, or will it watch her elude them? The influence of Clark extends well beyond the court. We are discussing a player who, by herself, has boosted league-wide TV viewing by 300%. With good reason, Fever games alone provide 45% of the WNBA's broadcast value. Fans will pay to see her play basketball because of her captivating charisma, self-assurance, and distinctive presence in addition to her skill. They are buying her, not only observing. In addition to winning games, the Fever rely on jersey to sustain the team. Additionally, having a player like Clark is crucial in a league where financial issues are prevalent. The issue, though, is that jersey frequently sells out and leads league product sales by a significant margin. They cannot just withdraw cash from their wallets and hand her a check for her true worth. Teams are now compelled by the NBA's collective bargaining agreement to cap wages and limit what they can offer even their best players. Sources claim that the Fever's camp is making every effort to give Clark incentives that would make her remain desirable. Additionally, the released records demonstrate their want to retain her. Performance-based bonuses, fair team support, and teamwork. These solutions are all available, but they might not be enough. In reality, if the league wishes to retain a player of Clark's caliber, it must step in and change its rules. Furthermore, it goes beyond Clark. The NBA's future is put to the test by her situation. The company risks losing its top players to other leagues or opportunities elsewhere if it cannot appropriately compensate them. This is happening right now. It goes beyond simple speculation. During the off-season, famous athletes like Diana Taurasi and Breanna Stewart have played in Europe and Asia, making far more money than they do in the WNBA. It is impossible to overestimate the economic significance of Clark's presence. In addition to ticket sales, her first season has generated $36 million for the city of Indianapolis alone. This amount includes hotel reservations, restaurant income, and the expansion of local businesses. Clark hasn't ruled out any of these possibilities, and you can bet that other leagues are keeping a careful eye on the issue in case the Fever are unable to perform. Losing Clark would be catastrophic for a city like Indianapolis, which has traditionally taken pleasure in being a center for sports. The Fever and the WNBA are cognizant of this. Maintaining Clark in Indianapolis is crucial to maintaining that momentum in spite of the challenges, as the league has a duty to both its teams and the communities it serves. Under the present rules, Clark may only have a maximum salary of $241,000 even when her rookie contract ends. When compared to her market value, this sum is little. Furthermore, even while endorsement agreements might help bridge the gap, they cannot fully compensate the league for her true value. The Fever tactic becomes essential at this point. Rookie salary are capped at $76.55 by the NBA's collective bargaining agreement, which is in force until 2025. The leaked records show that they are already taking steps to protect her future, despite the limitations of the current CBA. One suggested solution is to offer Clark a revenue-sharing deal whereby she would get a percentage of the team's profits. This might set a precedent for other clubs and players and be a revolutionary step for the WNBA. However, there are challenges with even this idea. The league and its owners, who haven't always been open to change, must approve revenue-sharing arrangements, which are infamously hard to negotiate. According to reports, the Fever are also considering the idea of a long-term sponsorship deal that would be directly associated with the team. This would enable them to indirectly reward Clark by collaborating with companies that enhance her reputation. Although this is a novel approach, there are dangers involved. First, it is predicated on the idea that companies will still find value in linking with the Fever, which is a sure bet while Clark is around but a risk if her star power ever wanes. The matter of Clark's own priorities comes last. She has mostly avoided the hoopla surrounding her contract status thus far, staying focused on her game. She's not a fool, though. She has choices and is aware of her value. Playing basketball overseas,